How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? I have a column, I don't know if you heard about it, but they appear in fantastic places, and if you don't read my columns, you'll never amount to anything. People are stupid if they don't read my columns. If you meet a person who doesn't know what he's talking about, the chances are he didn't read my column. My columns are the American Prowler, WorldNet Daily, and Jewish World Review. And that's where you'll find it. Besides, if you don't find my columns, you better find my book. Between my columns and my book, you'll wind up an intelligent person. This is called Schmucks. All the information about all the schmucks in America. You'll learn fantastic things about celebrities and politicians you never knew before. And that is more important than everything to know, because you're being hoodwinked and defrauded by a lot of people. Now let me talk to you about whatever's on my mind with reference to the major issues of our time. One of the most startling situations right now, and most horrible situations, is the unfortunate truth about what they're doing to the American soldiers in Iraq. You heard about the unbelievable story, which puts us all in the middle of a terrible tragedy. And right now, that they took 4 of our American soldiers, they killed 4 of our American soldiers, 3 are missing. A wild manhunt is going on all over Iraq to find the 3 American soldiers that were lost. It's unbearable to even talk about it, and it's unbelievable what they're doing to us. And the fate of the American soldiers is probably unspeakable and unimaginable. People don't want to contemplate what's going to happen to these 3 soldiers. That's why people are walking around not even talking about it. When something is too terrible and horrible to contemplate, people avoid the issue, but it's in the back of any decent person's mind. And the amazing thing is that right now, the Democrats are constantly preoccupied with how we treat the people that we capture, the terrorists that we capture. They don't think or care about supplying the funding for the war. They're always in debates about avoiding the Patriot Act that catches the crooks and the terrorists in the first place. Then our communications tricks and systems that our government has devised to locate them and find them, this doesn't interest them. They're trying to constantly interrupt whatever methods Bush tries to institute to capture and find all the information that has avoided us getting killed from terrorist attacks in this country for the last 4 or 5 years. All the manipulations that we try to contrive to catch them, every secret attempt we make is either being attacked or abused, confronted with venom, with hostility, because the Democrats are more important. What's only more important to them is one thing: how to undermine Bush. They are running their own private war against Bush. They're killing them that he's got the job, and that kills them a lot more than the thought of terrorism. They figure if terrorism happens, it won't probably happen in their building. They're not over there. Their children are usually not there, and they feel safe and comfortable. The only threat they feel to their lives is the possibility of losing the next election. So they're fighting their own war about the next election, and they keep wondering, why is a soldier that we caught in Guantanamo Bay, why is a terrorist who's trying to kill all our people, why is he not getting the proper subjects on television, why is he missing a certain cable station, why did the chicken come out a little too warm, and why are his shoes a little too tight, and why is his shirt a little unpressed, and why is he look a little tired, and why is he looking a little disturbed, and how come he's got maybe a little nauseous, and maybe the window is not open, maybe the air is not perfect, maybe the temperature is not right. We should not disturb them, and they're fighting Bush about protecting our prisoners, our enemies, our people, our enemies who are trying to destroy us, who are want to bury us, who capture our soldiers and behead them, and they do all kinds of horrible, unspeakable, unbelievable things to our soldiers. These are vicious maniacs. These are killers of the lowest order. These are people who are trying to destroy us every single day. These are lawless maniacs. And they're worried about protecting them. They're not worried about protecting them. They're just worried about making Bush look bad. So if they look like they have an issue against Bush, no matter how contrived and stupid and obnoxious and meaningless, no matter how self-defeating, no matter how it destroys our own cause, they're more aroused by the thought of losing the next election than all the murderers in the world who are killing our children every day. The Democrats should be in jail. They are treasonous in their behavior. They're undermining everything we're trying to do to win this war. They don't care a second about the soldiers. They say they support their soldiers. They support. How do you support them if you won't even give them money to fund the war? A war that they won't stop. They want to keep the war and at the same time defund the war. They should be defunded themselves. They should be thrown out of a job and out of the country. These are treasonous, horrible, disgusting bastards. That's what they are. By the way, on a lighter note, because it's hard for me to change the subject because I'm so wound up with the misery I feel about what the Democrats are doing to this country. But I just want to remind you that it's hard to think about comedy at a time like this, but in case you want to see my next performance, I'm going to be the 15th and 16th in Detroit in a place called Adiamo. I haven't been there for a while, so excuse me, it took me a second to remember the name, but the place is called Adiamo in Detroit, the 15th and 16th of next month.